The eyes are said to be the window to the soul, and perhaps they are. But if our eyes reflect our deepest selves, then we should determine when to open that window and what to allow to be seen, right? In the art of seduction, I like to think of the eyes as a skillfully manipulated hypnotic pendulum, a tool that we control and direct in our daily interactions. Hypnotists rely on certain principles when using the hypnotic pendulum: focus, fatigue, rhythm, and direction, all of which are in perfect harmony with the embedding technique. Now, I can imagine what you are thinking. Hypnosis and seduction seem like the games of a sly femme fatale or a comic book villain. Yes, they can be. But they are also extremely effective tools for ordinary people trying to achieve their real goals in their daily lives. Remember, seduction is not always about romance. At its core, seduction is the art of pulling someone away from their current situation and in another direction. Most of the time, the goal of the seducer is to get something from the other person, or to change their lifestyle, habits, and priorities. In this video, we will proceed assuming that the seducer is seeking love, attention, wealth, or power, and that the person being seduced has these elements. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, hypnosis is a state of consciousness that temporarily disables one's will and makes one highly susceptible to manipulation. Now, can you see why seduction and hypnosis are a perfect pair? One is the art of getting what you want. The other is the tool that makes it possible. So, where do our eyes fit in? In the art of seduction, your aim is to impress and attract people. We can apply the principles of the hypnotic pendulum strategically, without being creepy, to make them more docile. As I mentioned earlier, the basic principles of hypnosis are focus, fatigue, tempo, orientation, and embedding. But what exactly does each of these mean? Moreover, how can we use our eyes to create a similar effect? Focus means locking one's attention on a single point. In this case, the person you are seducing should look directly into your eyes, and your eyes should be their sole focus. Your goal is to establish and maintain this deep eye contact. Maintaining eye contact does not mean not blinking. Blink naturally, but do not look away. Let them focus on your eyes, and don't be the one to miss their first glance unless you strategically take control. This leads us to the second principle: fatigue. As in hypnosis, focusing on the same point for a long time creates mental fatigue. And this effect can also occur in a conversation. During the seduction process, you should consciously organize the environment to minimize distractions. The ideal scenario is a conversation where the focus is entirely on you. A quiet meeting room, a break area, a parked car, a comfortable sofa, a park bench, or a table at dinner. Such situations have minimal distractions and make you the focal point. Knowing that focus becomes difficult and fatigue can set in, you must strategically determine when and how to give someone a break. Temptation requires control. It is not for the hesitant or doubting. By understanding the nature of fatigue, you can use it to your advantage. Maintain eye contact, guide the conversation, and add a comforting element when necessary. For example, fixing your eyes on his or her eyes and gently brushing back a hair on your shoulder, or a brief touch on your bicep, momentarily distracts attention but still keeps the focus on you. This is one way to manage fatigue in seductive hypnosis. Now, let's move on to the third principle: tempo and direction. In hypnosis, this technique means drawing attention to a specific point and then guiding the process in a controlled way. In seduction, it is used to make the other person realize what they are doing or how it makes you feel. One of the best ways to enhance this effect is to turn observation into a subtle compliment. For example, in a romantic setting, make eye contact, then briefly shift your gaze to another point: your hands, an accessory or an object next to you. Then, make eye contact again and say, "You've been listening to me intently this whole time." "You are a great listener," you can say. In a professional setting, maintain eye contact with your boss or the person you want to promote you. Occasionally glance at your resume or a painting you are presenting, then recapture the gaze and say, "You have made me feel very welcome here. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me." Either way, by using your eyes strategically, you are keeping their attention, raising their awareness with controlled redirection, and thereby placing their comfort zone in a framework that you set. This is how tempo and direction work. And the last principle, embedded commands. In both hypnosis and seduction, subtlety is the key. You need to proceed without breaking the spell and without breaking the trance. Here, I recommend using I statements instead of giving commands directly. This may seem counterproductive, but it is actually quite effective. For example, statements like, "You need to give me this raise," or "You need to commit to our relationship" may work, but will probably trigger resistance from the other person. Instead, you can redirect by saying, "I feel really motivated to take on greater responsibilities in this company." Or, "Commitment is important to me, and I am happier when I feel that way." In this way, you don't force the other person. You let them get to where they want to go on their own instinct. This is where the power of embedded commands comes in. In the tempo and direction phase, use only the word "you" to draw their attention to themselves. After this stage, however, you need to create your own framework and frame the conversation in terms of I. For example, instead of saying, "You need to give me a raise," you could say, "I enjoy working here and would appreciate the chance to discuss my salary as I hope to grow in this company." This puts multiple ideas in place at the same time. You like where you work, you want to stay, you want to grow and contribute. In this way, instead of making a direct request, you are unwittingly planting a seed in the other person's mind. The same principle applies to romantic relationships. Instead of saying, "You need to commit to me," you can say, "I've been having a great time with you lately, I feel much happier with you, and I really think I can trust you." The critical point here is that you create a sense of commitment without ever using the word commitment. You are implying that their presence is valuable to you, reinforcing the experience in a positive way. Even more importantly, the phrase, "I think I can trust you," triggers the need to be needed. The person being seduced feels wanted, valued, and even desired. In the end, they will enjoy being with you so much that they will see you as an inseparable part of their life. And here is the power of your eyes in the art of seduction, showing how you can make an impact with the right strategies. Remember, seduction is a mental interaction, not just a physical one. Your eyes reveal the depths of your mind and your goals. How you use this is entirely up to you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video.